Hey, 7th hour. Before you guys take your quiz today, I did want to just go over the 5-1 and 5-2 practice that you had from earlier this week, just kind of the directions of it and how to go through it because your quiz is going to look very similar today. So to go through, our first question that I have on here is to sort the following expressions from smallest degree to largest degree. So as I take a look at these, the smallest degree being 0. So anytime you have a constant, that is going to be a degree of 0. So that one's in the correct spot. That would be your smallest degree. Then I'm going to take a look at my next one here, see if I need to move this around at all. So 15 should be at the top. 7x plus 15 should go next because the x has a degree of 1. And then if I look at these next ones, this has a degree of 9. This has a degree of 5. So I want to switch these around so that they're in the correct order from smallest to largest. Okay. Next one we have is another sort. We want to sort the following expressions into the correct label based on their number of terms. So if I look down here, all my possible options, I'm just going to click and drag them to where they belong. So I'm going to start at the back here. So this here is actually 1, 2, 3 terms. So I'm going to slide that into the trinomial spot. Here, remembering terms are separated by addition and subtraction. This is 4 terms, so that would be a polynomial. This one here is another 3 terms, trinomial. -6 is a constant. That just means it's a monomial. 9xy, there are no addition or subtraction, so that's also going to be a monomial. And then x plus 7z, 2 terms, so that's going to slide into the binomial category. Then a true or false question, we want to know if the following expression is written in standard form. So I have 9x squared minus 15 plus 3x. That is not in standard form. In order for it to be in standard form, the 3x would have to come next. So this would be false. On number 4, select every polynomial below that represents a cubic trinomial. Remember, using the term cubic means you can only use one variable in the expression. So it means a degree of 3, and we only have one variable throughout the entire thing. So in our first one, y to the third plus 6y plus 8, that works. It's a degree 3, and it's only using y's. Our next term, xyz does have a degree of 3, but since it uses more than one variable throughout, it has x, y's, and z's, we cannot select that one. Then I have x to the third plus 2. Well, this is good that it's a degree of 3, but it doesn't quite match this definition of trinomial, so we wouldn't select that one either. Our fourth one, x to the third minus 12x squared minus 7x, that would work. It's a degree of 3, and it only uses x's. And then our last one, despite it being degree 3, it uses x and y, so we cannot select it. So the only two that would work for this one are the first and fourth. Question 5, it says select the correct option for what best fits the classification of a 7th degree binomial. So degree 7 binomials, we're looking at 2 terms. So right away we can rule out these last 2. Those won't work because there's more than 2 terms. And then a degree of 7, if I look at my first term here, 3 plus 4 is 7. So this would be the correct answer of a 7th degree binomial. On the next ones, we want to use combining polynomials. I'm going to open a little scratch page here just to show some work. So when I'm adding these together, I have 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Since it's addition, nothing's going to change in the second equation. And now we're just looking at combining like terms. So 2x squared plus 4x squared gives me 6x squared. 5x plus 6x gives me 11x. And then my constants, -3 plus 9 gives me a positive 6. So you're going to type those numbers in. Okay. So we got 6x squared, so this would be a 6, plus 11x, and then that was plus 6 again. So you would type in your numbers there. Same thing on the next one, except it's subtraction. When it's subtraction, I'm going to slide my page down. When it's subtraction, we do have to change the second set of parentheses. So this is going to stay the same as 4x to the third plus 6x. But now I'm going to distribute this as a -1. So it's really -2x squared. A negative times a negative makes this plus 5x. and then a negative times positive would make this minus 3. I only have this term for x to the third. I only have minus 2 for x squared, and then I can combine like terms. So then this would be plus 11x, and then I only have one constant of minus 3. So if I go ahead to fill these in, I'm going to have 4x to the third minus 2x squared, and then I had 11x minus 3. So we're just filling in the coefficients for each of those. Okay. One last one like that. This one here was also subtraction. So we start with 6x squared minus 5x plus 3. And now again, I'm distributing this like a negative 1. So this is really going to become minus 2x squared plus 4x and then plus 8. I'm going to combine like terms. So this is 6 minus 2 gives me 4x squared. Negative 5x plus 4x is just negative 1x. And then my constants 3 plus 8 gives me 11. So when I type these in, I'm going to have 4x squared. This is just minus 1x. And this ended up being plus 11. Okay. Last questions then were multiple choice. Same thing, we want to actually solve these out. So the first one's addition, so that's not going to change the second parenthesis at all. So this is 8x to the third minus 4x squared plus 5. And now nothing's going to change in the second one because it's addition. So we still have 2x to the third plus 4x squared minus 12x plus 2. And I'm going to go through and combine like terms. So 8x to the third plus 2x to the third gives me 10x to the third. Negative 4x squared plus 4x squared, those are going to cancel each other out. That equals 0. Then I have minus 12x. And then I have my constants of 5 plus 2. So you're just going to select which one that matches, which in this case would be the third option. And our last one. Our last one is going to be looking at a couple different things happening. So 9x squared plus 7 doesn't change. But now with this being subtraction, I need to distribute that as a negative 1. So this is going to become minus 3x squared, minus 5x, and minus 2. Since this is addition, it doesn't change, so this is going to stay plus 5x squared. This stays minus 4x, and this stays plus 5. So I look at my like terms. I have 3x squared terms here. So 9x minus 3x is 6. 6 plus 5 gives me 11x squared. Then I have negative 5x minus 4x, which gives me negative 9x. And then I look at all my constants. So I have 7 minus 2, which is 5, and plus 5, which 5 plus 5 gives me 10. So if I look at my options up here, I'm looking for 11x squared minus 9x plus 10, which would be the last option. Hopefully that went well for you earlier in the week. If not, hopefully that made more sense to go through it, but your quiz today does have a similar format. So make sure if you do still have questions, look back over this and then check in with me in the Google Meet.